Okay. Eat Your Heart Out, Walter Mitty is the title of this story by Ezekiel Kralin, and it is another one of the stories that has a whole bunch of different things in it. It's all over the map here, and it looks like I can just read what's here and I don't have to explain anything, and we'll all get from context who's saying what to whom. Ezekiel Kralin wrote, email correspondence July 21st and 23rd, 2023. Read Mr. Sewer's moronic reply from Ezekiel Kralin to MCN discussion list, date July 21st at 5:16 p.m. Mel Porter posted, nope, apples and oranges. In Mr. Sewer's case, he's all nuts. He's just throwing this around in a desperate attempt to intimidate me, hoping I'll back off. Not gonna happen. He's sweating like the Nazi pig he is. Mr. Filcher's threat to contact certain people to badmouth me is hilarious. He'll come off like an imbecile, alerting the attorney that something's going on regarding harassment and intimidation against me on a grander scale than just our raving Nazi fishmonger's flyer. My FBI attorney is already fully aware of these matters and may pay him a visit, or more likely one of his associates working out of Mendocino County or parts nearby. Chucklehead lives in Comche, I believe. I've said this before in a post, but let this serve as a reminder. Landlord's attorney already apologized for putting me through this debacle of outrageous, malicious, false accusations. And now they're about to sue the fuck out of the plaintiff and his attorney for several major violations, not the least of which are doctrine of unclean hands and doctrine of unclean LACHES, however you pronounce that, unless they back off pronto, though it may be too late at this point to avoid some heavy fees anyway. Due to the landlord's error in taking our senile building manager's word for it, they got themselves in very hot water. However, I forgave them and did not file a countersuit, so at this point they would never dream of acting upon a screwball's phone call or email, but if they did, boy, would I have a righteous lawsuit against them. Signed, Zeke. Subject, the hounds are here, from Ezekiel Kralin to my dear Watson, date July 21, 2023 at 9:20 p.m. Flacco has come up with a new habit, jumping onto the chair instead of my cot. I always bring her inside first, so when her brother arrives, he's lost his prize throne. Sometimes he'll hop on anyway, and it's a tight squeeze, and they'll play fight King of the Hill, but Lucky always surrenders, maybe massaging her back or rump with his little teeth, which she absolutely loves, and will stand or sit there mesmerized for as long as he does that. So when they were both scrunched together on my chair this eve, I plunked myself down on the middle of the bed at a perpendicular angle. Just at that moment, Flacco scrambled like a boss onto my lap before Lucky even had a chance. But my little buddy didn't mind because he loves his sibling, and also since he now had the throne to himself once more. Deke arrived around 8 p.m. I told him about the electricity going out, and it'll take 3 or more days to replace the blown transformer. Nah, he waved a dismissive paw at me. The Hohokam crew just told me PG&E will show up any moment. They'll fix it right away. Well, that's not what I heard, Deke, but I hope you're right, I replied. I had to toss out all my food in the fridge this morning, $35 worth. Wait, he blurted with a confused brow. Didn't it happen a couple hours ago? No, it's been out since 2:30 p.m. yesterday. Then who should suddenly appear on a bike? Someone I hadn't seen in a coon's age? Filipino Kai. He looked fantabulous, healthier than ever. He literally glowed, and what a bright greeting he gave. This man rocks. He's the best. He went on for several more lines filled with praise and joy for yours truly. He knows that already, I said once he was done, since he was clearly addressing Deke as well as the world in general. I was eager to hurry the pups inside, as they certainly were, the way they danced on their hind legs and arfed before the gate. But before I did, I told Kai, I now have an attorney from the FBI. Some neo-Nazi punk is determined to snuff me out. Really? I got to hear all about this, he exclaimed with a broad, pearly grin. You will soon enough, I assured him. So now I am back hovel, the mutts have been fed, and are now blissfully at rest on the bedding. Vagrant smashing large hammer out front, 15-second video. To my dear Watson, July 23rd, afternoon. Watson wrote, Jesus fucking Christ, it's a siege. I replied, operating in a covert manner, thus much more difficult to identify and flush out, unless you have an army of Blue Rose militia soldiers who can play the same game and much, much better. And that is exactly what will soon occur, Watson. Homophobia is so deeply rooted in the human psyche as to necessitate dedicated grunts to burrow deep down inside the enemy bunkers of their collectively poisoned minds. We cannot possibly fight them in the physical plane alone. Well, we can, but not if we want to whup their asses into the dirt where they shall never stand up again. Flash forward to a few weeks from now. I am seated at the news desk of KNYO NBC's station in downtown San Francisco with political anchor Catherine Heenan seated close by, ready to start the interview. Mr. Kralin, I greatly admire your courage in standing up to neo-Nazi bullies, she declared, but I'm concerned for your own safety. Do you plan to remain at your present residence after so many Proud Boys and their ilk stormed the Castro this morning and tossed 3D-printed grenades at your window, thanks to this Mike Sewers monster who doxed you across right-wing online platforms, including Stormfront, InfoWars, and Breitbart, turning you into a national celebrity loved by many in spite of this attack, or should I say because of this attack? Most certainly not, I replied. I wasn't even home then, thank Glob. I was walking the pups. Be that as it may, the FBI presently has officers stationed around my building and throughout the Castro. After this interview, our remarkable LGBTQ+ peacekeepers, whom I've dubbed the Blue Rose Militia, will haul me off to a safe house, along with my indigent friend Deke and his 2 lovely hounds that have inspired my Brindlekin Tales, which, much to my awed delight, are now being hungrily read around the world by billions. Yes, they are amazing stories. I've read them all, she bubbled over with delight, like champagne just uncorked. And I hear that Disney Co. will come out with an animated version any day now. She then paused, allowing me to embellish upon that statement, but I did not, since it's already front-page headlines of every newspaper, both big and small, offline and on, so Catherine forged ahead like the star trooper she is. I'm awfully curious about your good friend Deke, Mr. Kralin, but it's a question you may not want to answer, so I apologize beforehand. That's fine, I replied. I think I know what you're about to ask, but it has to do with his decades-long habit of smoking meth. Wow, pin the tail on the donkey with that one, Mr. Kralin, she exclaimed with an embarrassed, coy grin. Well, in light of our extraordinary situation, I continued, the FBI has arranged to provide him with adequate levels of the substance, then proceed with a detox program that is such high quality he'll barely experience any withdrawal, and he should feel fantastic within several days of the treatment's start. In fact, better than he's ever felt in his entire life. That is simply astounding, exclaimed the award-winning news anchor. May I ask you exactly what this treatment is comprised of? I barely know myself, but in general it's a concoction of nutrients and highly advanced synthetic nanomolecules that rapidly facilitate the detoxification process without any damage to his system or withdrawal pangs. So Deke is all for it, I presume, she queried. He doesn't even know about it. But I doubt he would if he did, I chuckled. They'll inject it into his toothpaste so he won't be any the wiser. He'll rapidly crave less and less crystal, and then on day 4 he'll be a new Cajun sapiens, happy as a crawdaddy at high tide. But what about the legality of such an approach? Isn't that a major concern? Irrelevant to the goal of this mission, I confessed. It must be done, no 2 ways about it. She amused. When I think about it, I really see no other way either, considering the nature of this unparalleled crisis and the strategies mandated when one needs to move so quickly in quashing the Christo-fascist zombie opposition. Exactly, I agreed with much verve, while leaning forward on the desk to gaze into the center camera that the entire world witnessed my steely will and spanking new ocular implants to do stuff like I have a superpower, such as peering through walls for one, including concrete, steel, and marble. But there are many other tasks they accomplish, all top secret for now, and gratis to my peerless militia's dedicated scientists, some of whom have come all the way from Sirius Star Quadrant number 854 and have adorable puppy faces, much like Flacco and Lucky's. No one, I mean no one, will remain unconquered by their cuteness. All will succumb immediately. Arf, arf, over and out, Captain Watson of the good ship Bollywood Pop. To be continued. 5 minutes after 4, KNYO Fort Bragg.